China, a land of awe-inspiring landscapes, ancient history, and unique cultures, offers more than just the Great Wall or the Forbidden City. From remote mountain ranges to hidden villages, this vast country is a treasure trove for the adventurous traveler. In this list, we'll take you to 30 thrilling destinations that are perfect for those seeking adventure, history, and a true taste of China's soul. So buckle up, your journey through China's most breathtaking locations starts now. Number 1. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. Known for its towering sandstone pillars, Zhangjiajie inspired the floating mountains of the movie Avatar. The park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is part of the Wulingyuan Scenic Area and is home to more than 3,000 natural stone pillars. Why visit? Experience a surreal walk among the clouds on the world's longest glass bridge, or venture up the Zhangjiajie mountain where the Avatar Hallelujah Mountains await. Number 2. Mount Huangshan, also known as Yellow Mountain. A symbol of Chinese landscape painting, Huangshan's misty peaks have been immortalized in centuries-old art. The mountain has been a pilgrimage site for Taoists since the Tang Dynasty. Why visit? Climb the granite peaks, wander through the ancient pine forests, and soak in the dramatic views that have inspired poets and artists for centuries. Number 3. The Karst Mountains of Guangxi. This region has long been celebrated in Chinese folklore, with the mountains being featured in numerous poems. The Li River is famous for its enchanting views that reflect the surrounding limestone peaks. Why visit? Enjoy a river cruise through surreal landscapes or hike the various trails that lead you through breathtaking valleys and caves. Zhangjiajie Valley, named after the 9 Tibetan villages in the area, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site famous for its colorful lakes, breathtaking waterfalls, and snow-capped mountains. This region is not only a natural wonder, but it's also culturally significant for the Tibetan communities who call it home. If you get the chance, you really should visit the Five-Flower Lake. Its incredible shades of blue, green, and yellow are just mesmerizing. The valley is a haven for outdoor enthusiasts, offering unique biodiversity and picturesque scenery that's hard to find anywhere else. The Tibetan Plateau, often called the roof of the world, has been the cradle of Tibetan Buddhism for centuries. It's home to ancient monasteries, sacred mountains, and traditional nomadic lifestyles that have endured for generations. If you're up for an adventure, you can hike through the sacred mountains, explore ancient temples, and immerse yourself in the unique culture of Tibet, all while being surrounded by the awe-inspiring landscapes of the plateau. Built over 2,000 years ago, the Great Wall of China served as a defensive structure during the Ming Dynasty, stretching all the way from the Bohai Sea to the Gobi Desert. Walking along the well-preserved sections of the wall, like Mutianyu or Jinshanling, you'll find the views are absolutely spectacular, and you can really feel the weight of history beneath your feet. The Mogao Caves in Dunhuang are an ancient complex of Buddhist caves, situated right along the historic Silk Road. They contain, honestly, some of the best preserved art from the Tang Dynasty. These incredible caves were built over a span of time stretching from the 4th to the 14th centuries. When you visit, you can explore more than 700 caves, each one adorned with vibrant murals, statues, and ancient scrolls. It's a place where you can really see the fusion of Buddhism and Central Asian influences come to life. The north face of Mount Everest lies within Tibet, and it's been a subject of exploration and mountaineering history since the early 20th century. If you're someone who craves the ultimate adventure, you can trek to the base camp and just stand in awe of the world's highest peak. The Zhangye Danxia landform is a geological wonder, formed by red sandstone and mineral deposits. The vibrant colors you see are actually the result of millions of years of geological activity. When you wander through this rainbow-colored landscape, you'll witness one of nature's most surreal creations, often referred to as the Danxia Rainbow Mountains. Number 10. The Li River in Yangshuo. The Li River has been the subject of Chinese art and poetry for centuries, and it's famous for its picturesque karst mountain scenery. If you're wondering why you should visit, well, You can take a river cruise or cycle through the surrounding countryside for truly unparalleled views of those dramatic limestone peaks. Number 11. Pingyao Ancient City. This is a perfectly preserved ancient city dating all the way back to the 14th century, and Pingyao offers a real glimpse into life during the Ming and Qing dynasties. Why visit? You'll get to step back in time as you explore the well-preserved city walls, ancient architecture, and the fascinating history of this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lijiang Old Town is really famous for its ancient Naxi culture, which is this fascinating blend of Tibetan and Chinese influences. The town's old quarter, by the way, is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Why visit? Well, you can wander through narrow cobbled streets, check out ancient temples, and just enjoy those stunning views of Jade Dragon Snow Mountain. Tianzi Mountain, located in Zhangjiajie National Forest, is a key feature of the park's truly awe-inspiring scenery, and is even linked to the legend of the Son of Heaven. Why visit? With its unique rock formations, misty surroundings, and those towering pillars, Tianzi Mountain is honestly a must-see for any adventurer who's seeking a mystical landscape. Xi'an's terracotta army was discovered in 1974, and it's honestly an archaeological wonder built to protect Emperor Qin Shi Huang in the afterlife. Why visit? You can see over 8,000 life-size terracotta soldiers and horses, all arranged in battle formation, each with their own unique features, offering a real insight into China's ancient imperial history. Mount Wuyi is a sacred mountain well known for its tea culture and Taoist history, as well as its beautiful landscapes, caves, and ancient temples. Why visit? Hike along the scenic routes, explore the stunning cliffs and gorges, and of course taste the famous Wuyi rock tea, which is really known for its distinctive flavor. This UNESCO World Heritage Site in Yunnan Province is a natural limestone formation that has been shaped over millions of years. Roam through the maze of towering stone pillars and feel as though you've entered another world. The unique landscape makes for an unforgettable adventure. Mount Emei. Mount Emei is one of China's 4 sacred Buddhist mountains, with monasteries dating back to the 3rd century. Hike to the Golden Summit, where you'll be rewarded with panoramic views and the sight of the famous giant Buddha statue. Hainan Island. Known for its tropical beaches, Hainan is often referred to as the Hawaii of China, and has been a significant trading hub for centuries. Enjoy water sports, visit the Nanwan Monkey Island, or explore the lush rainforests that make Hainan an ideal escape for nature lovers. Fanjing Mountain. A sacred Buddhist mountain, Fanjing is known for its unique rock formations and was home to one of the oldest temples in China. Hike to the top for spectacular views and experience the peace and serenity that has drawn pilgrims for centuries. Yunnan's Shangri-La. Often associated with the mythical paradise in James Hilton's Lost Horizon, Shangri-La has its roots in Tibetan culture and history. Explore the Tibetan culture, visit ancient monasteries, and enjoy the mystical landscapes of this magical land. Huangguoshu Waterfall. Located in Guizhou Province, Huangguoshu is one of Asia's largest waterfalls and has been a symbol of the region's natural beauty. Marvel at the majestic 77.8-meter waterfall, and explore the caves and cliffs that surround it, making it an unforgettable experience for nature lovers. Silk Road, Dunhuang. Dunhuang was a major hub on the ancient Silk Road, a trade route that connected China to Central Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Discover the ancient ruins, temples, and murals that tell the story of the region's rich cultural heritage. Qinghai Lake. Qinghai Lake, the largest saltwater lake in China, has long been a sacred site for Tibetan Buddhists, and is also a key point along the ancient Tibetan trade route. Enjoy a bike ride around the lake, experience Tibetan culture, or marvel at the unique ecosystem and migratory birds that call the lake home. Wudang Mountains. Known for its association with Taoism and martial arts, Wudang is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a place of spiritual significance. Explore ancient Taoist temples, hike the rugged mountain trails, and perhaps even practice Tai Chi or Kung Fu. Mount Tai. As one of China's 5 great mountains, Mount Tai is a sacred site that has been revered for over 3,000 years, with emperors once climbing it to pray for peace and prosperity. ascend the mountain for breathtaking views, and explore the temples and inscriptions left by pilgrims and emperors alike. Yosemite-like Zhangye Danxia. Known for its uniquely colorful rock formations, Zhangye Danxia offers otherworldly landscapes that have captivated visitors for centuries. Witness the kaleidoscope of colors that change with the light and explore a landscape that seems almost alien in its beauty. Lhasa, Tibet is up next. The spiritual heart of Tibet, Lhasa has been a pilgrimage destination for Tibetan Buddhists for over 1,300 years. Visit the Potala Palace, Jokang Temple, and other holy sites while immersing yourself in Tibetan culture and spirituality. Next, we will explore the Longji rice terraces. Also known as the Dragon's Backbone, these rice terraces have been cultivated for over 650 years, showcasing the ingenuity of local ethnic minority groups. Trek through the terraces, marvel at the intricate irrigation system, and visit traditional Zhuang and Yao villages. Coming up, Mount Kailash. Considered one of the holiest mountains in the world, Kailash is a sacred site for Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains alike. Embark on a pilgrimage trek around this sacred peak and immerse yourself in the religious and natural beauty of the region. A key part of the ancient Silk Road, the Gobi Desert has been a crossroads for cultures and traders for centuries. Traverse the desert's vast dunes, visit ancient monasteries, or explore the famous Flaming Cliffs, where dinosaur fossils have been discovered. China offers a vast array of adventurous places that combine natural beauty, rich culture, and thrilling outdoor activities. Whether you're scaling mountain peaks, walking through ancient temples, or experiencing unique ecosystems, each location on this list promises an unforgettable adventure. Pack your bags and let China's wonders unfold before you. There are a few additional things you might want to keep in mind when planning your visit to these adventurous places in China. The climate in China varies significantly by region, so the best time to visit really depends on where you are going. Spring, which is April to May, and autumn from September to October, are generally the best times to visit most places in China. The weather is mild, and the landscapes are particularly beautiful during these seasons. For high-altitude destinations like Tibet and Mount Everest, summer, which is June to August, is ideal, as winter can bring extreme cold and heavy snow. Winter, from December to February, is a great time for Harbin's Ice Festival, but keep in mind that the weather can be very cold in many northern and mountainous areas. China has a rich cultural history and diverse ethnic groups. It's essential to be respectful of local customs and traditions. In Tibet, be sensitive to Tibetan culture and the political sensitivity surrounding the region. In rural areas, many of the villages, such as those near Shangri-La or in Pingyao, are still traditional and may have specific expectations for behavior. When visiting Buddhist sites like temples or sacred places such as Mount Aimei, remember to dress modestly and behave respectfully. For example, no loud talking or touching sacred objects. When exploring remote or high-altitude destinations, such as Mount Everest Base Camp or the Tibetan Plateau, it's important to acclimatize. Take it slow and allow time to adjust to the high altitudes to avoid altitude sickness. Given the adventurous nature of some of these locations, it's highly recommended to have comprehensive travel insurance, especially if you plan on hiking or engaging in adventure sports. Ensure your vaccinations are up to date, especially for travel to more rural or remote areas. China has a well-developed transportation network, but some of these adventurous destinations may require specialized transportation. For Zhangjiajie or Zhujiaigu, you may need to take buses or taxis from nearby cities. Train travel is popular, but for remote areas, flights might be more convenient. If visiting Mount Kailash or Mount Everest, you'll likely need to take a guided tour, as the roads can be challenging, and permits are required for foreign travelers. Public transportation in major cities like Beijing, Shanghai, or Chengdu is efficient and cost-effective, but for more remote destinations, renting a car or taking a private tour might be the best option. Certain areas, especially Tibet, Mount Kailash, and Mount Everest, require permits for foreign travelers, and some sites may have restrictions on access due to political or cultural reasons. Mount Everest Base Camp requires a Tibet travel permit, and Zhangjiajie Valley can have restricted access during peak tourist seasons. Always check for the latest travel regulations and permits before heading to these places. China is making efforts to preserve its natural landscapes, but some places, like Zhangjiajie and Zhujiaigu, are heavily visited. To minimize your environmental impact, stay on designated paths and trails to protect natural landscapes. Be mindful of waste and litter, especially in remote areas. Carry out what you carry in. In eco-sensitive areas like the Tibetan Plateau, be mindful of the fragile ecosystems and the local wildlife, such as the Tibetan antelope and the wild yaks. Each region of China offers its own unique flavors and culinary experiences. Yunnan Province, home to places like Shangri-La and Lijiang, is famous for its wild mushrooms, spices, and hearty rice dishes. In Guizhou, try sour fish soup or spicy sour cabbage dishes. If visiting Tibet, try sampa, which is barley flour, and momos, which are dumplings, staples of Tibetan cuisine. Xi'an is the birthplace of biang-biang noodles and rujiamo, often called the Chinese hamburger. Hiking and trekking. Most of these locations offer scenic hikes such as the Great Wall, especially sections like Mutianyu and Jinshanling or Mount Wuyi. Water sports. The Li River in Guangxi offers cruises, but if you're an adrenaline junkie, you can also go kayaking or rafting. Winter Sports Harbin's Ice Festival is a must-see in winter, with intricate ice sculptures and thrilling ice activities. Also, the Changbai Mountains offer skiing. Cave exploration Mogao Caves in Dunhuang and Shilin Stone Forest offer a chance to explore ancient cave systems and impressive rock formations. Sichuan Province, home to Mount Emei and Zhujiajie, is a haven for wildlife lovers. Here, you can find giant pandas at the Chengdu Research Base of giant panda breeding. In the Tibetan Plateau, you can spot wild yaks, antelope, and snow leopards, though sightings are rare. The Yangtze River is home to the Yangtze River dolphin, though sightings of this endangered species are increasingly rare. Tibet. If you visit Lhasa or Mount Kailash, try to learn about Tibetan Buddhism, which is at the heart of the region's culture. Ethnic minority villages, in places like Shangri-La or Pingyao, experience the local traditions, including festivals, handicrafts, and indigenous food. Silk Road cities like Dunhuang are great for picking up jade, pashmina, silk products, and handmade carpets. Tibet is known for Tibetan handicrafts such as carpets, thengkas, which are Tibetan religious paintings, and jewelry. Exploring China's adventurous destinations offers an incredible blend of natural beauty, cultural richness, and thrilling activities. Understanding the logistics, being culturally sensitive, and embracing the diverse landscapes and traditions will make your journey even more rewarding. Whether you are trekking on sacred mountains, cruising through misty valleys, or exploring ancient wonders, China's wonders will leave you with lifelong memories. While visiting adventurous places in China can be incredibly rewarding, there are a few potential disadvantages to consider depending on the location, your personal preferences, and the type of experience you're seeking. Here are some of the key challenges and considerations. Some of the most popular sites, such as the Great Wall, Zhangjiajie, Zhujiajie Valley, and Lijiang, can be very crowded, especially during peak tourist seasons. This can lead to long wait times for entry or transport, overcrowded attractions, which may detract from the serene experience you might have been expecting, and a loss of authenticity, as the commercialism and tourist infrastructure may take away from the true cultural or historical feel of the place. Certain remote or high-altitude destinations, such as Mount Everest Base Camp, Tibet, or Mount Kailash, may present logistical challenges. Some areas, especially in the mountains or remote regions, may have limited public transportation or infrastructure. You may need to rely on private tours, guides, or local transportation, which can be costly or inconvenient. For places like Zhangye Danxia or the Tibetan Plateau, hiking and trekking can be physically demanding, requiring good fitness levels and preparation. In high-altitude locations like Mount Kailash, Mount Everest Base Camp, and parts of Tibet, altitude sickness can be a significant risk, especially for those unaccustomed to high elevations. In rural or remote areas, food hygiene standards might not be as strict, leading to a higher risk of foodborne illnesses or infections. Always drink bottled water and be cautious with street food. Some places, particularly Hainan Island, the Tibetan Plateau, and Mount Everest, can experience extreme weather conditions. This may include harsh winters, heavy snow, or intense heat during the summer, which could pose safety risks if not properly prepared. In more remote areas, you may encounter wildlife, such as wild animals in Mount Kailash or the Gobi Desert, or environmental hazards like slippery rocks, unstable terrain, or sudden changes in weather. Certain regions, especially Tibet and areas near the Tibetan Plateau, have political sensitivities, and visitors may be subject to stricter scrutiny by local authorities. Tibet's history, culture, and its political status can be controversial, and some tourists might unintentionally get involved in sensitive topics. Some areas, such as parts of Xinjiang or Tibet, have ongoing ethnic tensions, and it's important to be aware of the local political climate and avoid discussing controversial issues. In more remote regions, such as Shangri-La or Zhangjiajie, communication can be challenging due to the limited availability of English-speaking locals. It's helpful to learn a few phrases in Mandarin or travel with a local guide. The increasing number of tourists in some areas, such as Zhangjiajie or the Great Wall, is contributing to environmental degradation, including pollution, erosion, and damage to delicate ecosystems. Many natural sites are struggling with the pressure of large crowds and tourism development. Some regions, particularly in high-altitude areas or remote villages, may lack the infrastructure for waste management, leading to pollution of natural habitats. If visiting such places, it's crucial to follow leave no trace principles and minimize your environmental footprint. Some of the most adventurous places, such as Tibet or Mount Everest Base Camp, require special permits that can be, pretty difficult to obtain. Foreign visitors to Tibet must get their permits through an authorized travel agency, and honestly, restrictions can change frequently depending on the political climate. China's visa application process can also be pretty time-consuming and might require additional permits, especially if you're heading to sensitive or restricted regions. Some of the more remote or luxurious adventure destinations can be, quite expensive to visit. For high-altitude treks like those in Tibet, Mount Kailash, or Mount Everest, you'll probably need to hire a guide or join a tour group, which can really bump up your travel costs. Some places have limited accommodation options, which might be pretty basic, or you may find yourself booking high-end hotels in tourist-heavy cities just to stay comfortable. Costs can add up quickly, especially in remote areas with fewer resources. And if you're planning activities like trekking, mountaineering, or hiking in regions like Mount Huangshan or Zhangjiajie, you may need specialized gear or clothing, which honestly can get expensive. In more rural or remote regions, the infrastructure may be, a bit less developed. In some of China's more remote villages or high-altitude regions, basic amenities like electricity, internet, and hot water might not always be available. This can definitely make the experience more challenging for travelers who are used to modern comforts. In remote regions such as the Tibetan Plateau or Gobi Desert, medical facilities may be pretty scarce. So, if you're traveling to these areas, it's important to carry essential medications, prepare for emergencies, and consider travel insurance that covers evacuation. Certain areas of China, like Zhangjiajie and Zhangjiajie, are prone to natural disasters, including earthquakes, landslides, and flooding. For example, Zhangjiajie experienced a major earthquake in 2017 that temporarily closed the park. So it's always a good idea to check weather forecasts and natural disaster warnings before heading to these regions. In desert regions like the Gobi Desert, you might experience extreme temperatures, which can be dangerous if you're not properly prepared. And similarly, some mountain regions can have harsh winters, making travel pretty difficult. While the adventurous places in China are full of stunning natural beauty and cultural riches, the challenges mentioned above are important to keep in mind. Proper preparation, awareness of local customs, and logistical planning can help mitigate many of these disadvantages. With careful consideration, your journey through these spectacular destinations can still be an unforgettable and rewarding experience. And, while the previous points cover many of the essential aspects to consider when visiting adventurous places in China, there are a few more tips and insights that might be helpful for a more enriching and smooth experience. First, let's talk about local festivals and events. China's various regions host unique local festivals that you might want to experience to immerse yourself in local culture. For example, in Lhasa, Tibet, the Losar Festival, which is the Tibetan New Year, and the Saga Dawa Festival, celebrating the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death, are great cultural events to experience Tibetan traditions. In Harbin, the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival is a winter wonderland of massive ice sculptures and light displays. And in Xi'an, the Xi'an Silk Road International Tourism Festival celebrates the city's ancient trade history and cultural diversity. Knowing when these events occur could really enhance your visit, allowing you to witness vibrant celebrations, traditional performances, and local customs. Next up, let's cover some photography tips. Some of China's adventurous locations, such as Zhangjiajie, Zhujiagu, and Shangri-La, offer stunning landscapes that are just perfect for photography. Here are a few tips. The golden hour, so sunrise and sunset, provides the best light for photographing mountains, valleys, and rivers, so be sure to plan around these times. Also, respect local communities by always asking permission before taking photos of people, especially in more traditional or rural areas like Tibet or Shangri-La. And when it comes to drone usage, in some areas like national parks or sacred sites, the use of drones might be restricted, so definitely check local regulations before flying. In addition to cultural sensitivities, understanding local customs is, really important. Here are a few tips to keep in mind. In Buddhist areas like Lhasa, it's customary to walk around religious monuments, such as the Jokhang Temple, in a clockwise direction. In rural villages like Pingyao, Shangri-La, and Yangshuo, respect for elders is highly valued, and it's common to greet them with a polite bow or just a friendly smile. When it comes to gift giving, especially in Tibet, offering small gifts like sweets, fruits, or scarves to local people can be seen as a gesture of goodwill. However, you'll want to avoid giving gifts that are considered unlucky, such as sharp objects, since they symbolize severing relationships. Mandarin is the official language of China, and while major cities like Beijing or Shanghai have many English speakers, more rural and remote areas may have limited English-speaking locals. Here are some ways to, ease communication. Learning a few essential phrases in Mandarin or Tibetan if you're visiting Tibet can go a long way. Phrases like ni hao for hello, zi for thank you, and zai jian for goodbye can help in many situations. Installing a translation app like Google Translate is also super helpful in regions with a language barrier. And honestly, having a local guide who speaks both Mandarin and the local dialect can be a significant advantage, especially in those remote areas. Each adventurous place in China has its own distinctive handicrafts that you might want to take home as souvenirs. In Tibet, handmade Tibetan carpets, thangka paintings, and silver jewelry are unique keepsakes. In Zhangjiajie, local artisans often craft wooden figurines inspired by the dramatic rock formations in the area. And in Xi'an, which is famous for the terracotta warriors, you can find miniature replicas or related souvenirs like silk products or jade carvings. As an adventurous traveler, it's important to travel sustainably and minimize your environmental impact. Respect protected areas. Many of the sites in China, especially natural parks like Zhujiagu and Zhangjiajie, are actually part of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So, stick to designated paths and avoid disturbing wildlife. Waste reduction is also key. In more remote regions, the infrastructure for waste disposal might not be as developed, so carry reusable water bottles, avoid single-use plastics, and dispose of your waste responsibly. Supporting local communities is another great way to make a positive impact. Choose eco-friendly accommodations and local businesses that promote responsible tourism. Buying directly from artisans and supporting community-based tourism can really help foster sustainable development. While peak seasons like summer and Chinese New Year offer the chance to see more vibrant crowds and local festivals, off-peak travel has its own advantages. Visiting during the shoulder seasons, such as spring and autumn or even winter, can provide a more peaceful, intimate experience with fewer tourists. Accommodations and flights are usually cheaper during off-peak months, and you might also get discounts for less crowded tours. Plus, you'll have more flexibility in booking accommodations and activities without having to rush or worry about long waiting times. Depending on the destination, solo travel may be challenging, particularly in more remote regions like Tibet or Mount Kailash. Group tours are often recommended for a few reasons. Many of China's most remote areas, such as the Tibetan Plateau or Mount Everest Base Camp, are better navigated with a local guide who knows the area and its regulations. Traveling in a group, especially to high-altitude or rural areas, ensures that you have support in case of emergencies, like altitude sickness or transportation issues. Group tours can also help reduce the overall cost of travel in areas that may otherwise be expensive to explore on your own. In many adventurous locations, particularly those in Tibet and Mount Kailash, there can be unexpected challenges, including changes in plans. Sometimes weather, political climates, or even natural disasters, like earthquakes in Zhangjiajie, can disrupt travel plans. So, it's important to be flexible and always have a backup plan. Some regions, especially politically sensitive ones like Tibet, may impose sudden restrictions on foreign visitors, including road closures, permit issues, or military checkpoints. Depending on the destination, you may experience less comfort in terms of amenities. For example, high-altitude places like Mount Everest or Tibet can be physically demanding and lack the conveniences of urban areas. To fully enjoy your adventurous journey in China, preparation is key. Whether you're trekking through remote mountains, visiting sacred Buddhist sites, or exploring unique cultural traditions, being mindful of these additional insights will help ensure you have a smooth and enriching experience. With careful planning, you can navigate any potential challenges and make the most of your travel, creating unforgettable memories along the way. Ready to embark on an unforgettable adventure in China? Whether you're exploring the majestic Great Wall, trekking the stunning landscapes of Zhangjiajie, or immersing yourself in the ancient traditions of Tibet, these extraordinary destinations promise experiences you'll cherish for a lifetime. Before you pack your bags, make sure to plan ahead. Research the best times to visit, understand local customs, and prepare for any challenges. Don't forget to share your experiences and inspire others by leaving a comment or sharing this guide with fellow adventurers. Subscribe for more travel tips, insights, and destination guides that will take you to the world's most breathtaking places. Your next adventure awaits. Start planning today.